It's time for Recipe of the Day. Happy New Year. I hope you had a blast last night and that you are excited about 2024. Here we go. I am starting off the year with a nice, healthy recipe. Gotta get those greens in, right? Colored greens are often eaten for good luck at the beginning of the year. I think they're supposed to symbolize money, all that green, you know? I'm not doing collards this year, though. I did those last year, I think, or maybe the year before. I've been doing this podcast for a long time, hey? Anyhow, I am doing some beet greens today. You know, beet greens are my favorite vegetable, and so I have a new recipe up on Cook the Story today. It just went live this morning for garlicky sautéed beet greens. So beet greens are what they sound like. They are the greens from the beet vegetable. That nice ruby red root vegetable has these really deep red stems and luscious green leaves on top. When those look nice at the grocery store, like when I'm in the grocery store and I'm in that section where those greens are, if those beet greens look amazing, I buy them even if I don't want the beets. They are that good. But of course I do still cook the beets, and I will link to how I roast them in the oven because I think that is a great way to cook them. Now, I'll just say if you cannot get beet greens but you want to try this, you can use Swiss chard. Swiss chard and beets are related to each other. Very similar flavor. The beet greens are just a little bit sweeter and I like them a little bit better. They have more stem, I think, too. I really like the stems. Okay, so like I was saying, if they look nice, buy them. You will not be disappointed. So you want a bunch of beet greens that were attached to 3 to 5 beets. And for this recipe, the stems are actually cooked a little bit longer than the leaves. So we're going to separate those out from each other. So first, trim the stem about an inch away from where the beet ends. And that is just so that the beet doesn't start bleeding right away. That bright red juice that comes out of it, if you leave a little bit of stem there, it keeps the beets from being messy. Then put those beets into a bag and put them in the fridge. You're going to use those another day. And what you're going to do is remove the leaves from those stems and then chop up the stems and put them in a colander and give them a really good rinse. The one thing about beet greens that I do not like is that they can be quite gritty. So you really want to rinse them very well. Then heat about 2 teaspoons of olive oil in a large skillet over medium-high heat and add those stems, and you're going to cook and stir them often just until fork tender, about 2 to 3 minutes. While those are cooking, tear up those leaves and put those into a colander and give them a good rinse as well. They can also be gritty. And then once those stems are fork tender, you're going to add in 2 cloves of garlic that you've minced up and also 1/8 a teaspoon of salt, just a little bit. And you're going to cook and stir for 30 seconds. The garlic actually starts to turn pink from the color of the stems. It's really pretty. Then add in those rinsed leaves and you're just going to cook and stir those. I like a pair of tongs to do this just until they're wilted. It's just going to be another minute. That is it. Garlicky beet greens. They're so pretty with the green and red and delicious too. A wonderful way to celebrate the new year. I will put the link to this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there, or find it in our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/recipeotd. And hey, just a quick note. I'm on a recording hiatus right now, so for the next little while, I'm replaying episodes from the archives, including this one. If you heard me mention a holiday, a season, or something going on in my life that seemed a bit off, that's why. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you're enjoying these older episodes. I am Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, cookfor2.us, and from this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.